What's up, guys? My name's Dante and thank you very much for watching another video. Today I want to talk about the top 3 things that we can do, that we can focus on, that's going to make us happier. I noticed something. I've taken a little break from YouTube and I've noticed something in all of my videos through that break, is that I tend to focus on the things that we can do in our minds that make us more happy. Our mindset, and you'll hear motivational speakers, you'll hear plenty of people talk about this. It's all about your mindset, it's all about what you think, and that's very true, it's very important. But I think I've neglected 2 other parts of happiness, 2 other parts of living a healthy life. And I wanted to talk about those today. Number 1, what we've already talked about, mind. It is extremely important, especially in our culture. You'll see the next thing is something we always talk about in this culture, but mind is something that I don't want to say gets neglected, but it definitely gets less attention than some of the other categories. And so I wanted to bring that to light because for me, when I started working on that plane or that category of health, I really started to see growth. Okay, but number 2, and this is a lot of people are familiar with this one, a lot of people hear about this one, it's body. So we have mind, and number 2 is body. And I'm not ordering these in importance because at the end of it, you'll see that all of these are equally important. What we get out of them depends on how much we put in there. So, body. Extremely important to take care of body because we are not, as human beings, we are not just a body, we are not just a mind, right? We are both of those things and one other. So, we start taking care of our body along with our mind, we start experiencing more happiness. And third, we get into the final category of spirit. So it's mind, body, and spirit. And let me just stop here and say that I am not the first one and only one that adopts this. It's something that I've heard that makes sense for me. But other philosophies and other religions use this way of thinking about who we are as people. And I relate it to my work when I do this because it organizes things. When I'm spending time praying or meditating, I know I'm spending time strengthening my spirit. When I'm at the gym, exercising, or choosing to eat something healthy, I know I'm spending time in the plane of body, in the category of body. And finally, mind, where I've been able to unlock most of the happiness, it feels like, where I've experienced most of the freedom in my life, is mind. And how do I do that? Well, that can come through reading or going to any type of learning. And also practicing. I've talked about open-mindedness in my previous videos, and that's a great way to exercise your mind. But one thing I want to highlight in all 3 of these categories, and this is one of the most amazing things I've experienced because it's true for all of them. When we start focusing on those individual categories, invariably we experience fear and we experience uncomfortability. And let me just give you an example. And I'll just use, and these examples are going to be just examples that I use. These are by no means the only way to enhance your life in these particular categories, but they are just examples. Number 1, body. We'll start with body because it's the thing that, especially in American culture, we focus on. We focus on body image a lot, and we hear about it a lot. Exercise and diet is going to make you healthier and happier. That's what we're talking about here. So, we start practicing body, and the number 1 way people do it, or on average, people will start going to the gym when they want to work on their body. Okay? What do people experience when they go to the gym? Well, anyone who I've ever worked with, and I do work with people personally, for free, of course, to help them experience what I experience. So we start working on body. The number 1 fear people have is fear of criticism. I'm nervous about what people are thinking about me, if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm doing enough of whatever I'm doing, how I'm doing it. We experience fear, and I want to take note of that because it's uncomfortable when we go to the gym. We start sweating, we start hurting, and our brain tells us to stop, but we keep going. We experience fear and uncomfortability when we start practicing body, but immediately after we put ourselves into that uncomfortability and leave the gym, immediately we feel better. We feel less stressed, we feel happier, therefore adding to our happy life. Moving on, going to mind. The example I'll use is reading because it's something that I do a lot, and it's something that when a lot of people start wanting to expand their plane of thought or become smarter, more intelligent, they start to read. When I first started reading and when I talk to other people who want to get into reading, they tell me one thing: it feels uncomfortable. Sitting down in a quiet place and focusing on a book, something they haven't done in years or possibly never, at least when I started reading, 4 years ago when I was 19 years old, I don't think I may have read one book in my life up to that point. One book. And so when I started this journey, when I started trying to expand my mind, it was extremely uncomfortable. But I noticed something when I started to talk to people. It felt like I was drawing from knowledge of not only what I had learned, but what had come out of the book, another person's experience. And so I started to feel more confident, adding to happiness, right? And so we go back again and we feel that uncomfortability of sitting down and putting ourselves in a situation which we've never been before actually adds to our happiness. And finally, the most controversial topic that I have a hard time talking with a lot of people about, but with you guys, I would be doing a great disservice if I didn't mention the plane of spirit. What that means for people is something that I am not here to discuss. And you won't hear me say that much. I'm not here to tell anyone what type of spirit or God to believe in. That is absolutely not why I'm here. I am here to say, though, that a certain level of spirituality, I guess you could say, a certain level of open-mindedness towards that plane is huge. It's extremely important. And so for me, what I started to do was prayer and meditation. Other people do tons of different things, right? Once again, I'm just using the example that I use. It doesn't mean it's the only, it doesn't mean it's the right. It's just what helped me expand myself and enhance my life. So plane of spirit, prayer. We'll just start there. When I started doing that, I had no way to do it. I had no way to know if I was doing it right, just like the gym, and it was uncomfortable. And I would definitely not do it in front of people when I first started because I was fearful of being criticized, just like the gym. But after doing body at the gym and mind through reading, I realized something. That every time I experienced fear and every time I experienced uncomfortability, as long as I didn't quit, I felt better, I grew, and became a better person. And that's where the magic is. And that is like that's the secret. Successful people, happy people, see fear and run towards it because they know that at the end of the day, they're going to experience growth. Inevitably. And for a happy person, growth is all that matters. We want to experience growth in our relationships. We want to experience growth in our work. We want to experience growth because we know that if we're not growing, we're dying. I think of it like a tree. As soon as a tree stops growing, it's dying. Right? And so if I realize that and I recognize that my only goal in life is to grow, I know that I have to go into fear as much as I can. I want to make myself as uncomfortable as possible because just like with the gym, I don't feel uncomfortable anymore. With prayer, I can do it in front of anybody. With meditation, I like to be in kind of a more quiet space, but I would feel comfortable doing that in front of everybody, and of course reading. It's this common theme of growth is that after a while, we're not fearful anymore. 5 years go by and we have all these experiences of things that used to make us uncomfortable that we're not fearful of anymore. We can go right through them. Things that other people struggle with. And then our job becomes to help those people see what we see. And that's what I'm doing here. If you like this video, please hit the like button below. It takes you 1 second, but it motivates me a bunch, and it'll help me make more videos. So please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and take a look at the law of uncomfortability. It pertains to this video, and it's definitely related. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you next time.